Good evening. Michael Williams Creative Studios doing another tutorial. This is a follow-up tutorial on we had a tutorial for how to add the plugin on that was on the OBS website. It was a free animated lower thirds plugin, and so I'm going to show you how to customize it real quick, which doesn't take too long, but there are a few things you have to do in order to pull this off. So the first thing you want to do is go down to the OBS website and click on the forum and go to resources, and you'll see somewhere there animated lower thirds panel. You're going to download that panel, and once you download that panel, that will allow you to install the plugin into your OBS system. Now once you install the plugin, it depends on where you put it as to where you have to do all these customizations, but I'm going to show you a couple of different ways on how to do it. I have mine installed in my OBS plugin, the OBS Studio folder, and you'll see it says lower thirds master, so I'm going to double click on that, and you'll see lower thirds master. And in order to install this in the OBS, you have to watch our last tutorial, which we have already showed you how to do it, so we're hoping that you have already watched that. But once you get it installed in OBS, you'll be able to actually turn it on by turning on the source, adding a browser source, and adding the address where you dropped the plugin in, as well as the control panel. And as you can see here on my screen, let me see, I'll turn it on real quick and I will show it. And there you can see it's right there on the bottom. I'm going to move it over just a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. Let me find that real quick. Yeah, so I'm going to show it right there. I'm going to hide it, and then I'm going to show it again. Oh, let me transition over. There we go. So it should be right there. So that's the initial plugin. All right. So you can do it from the right or you can do it from the left, depending on how you have your plugin configured. If I move it this way and click right and hit show, it should come from the right side. Let me move that over a little bit. There we go. So show it, hide it, show it, hide it. There's a button within OBS to control that on the fly. Now I'm going to put it back towards the center of the screen, and I'm going to put this on the left so we can see exactly how to do this. So there's a couple. This is basically a combination of, there we go, a combination of HTML, CSS files. So you have to make a few alterations in order to be able to modify. First of all, you want to modify the logo. So if you click in tools and you go to lower thirds, if you click in tools and go to common, here's where you find your image at. So if you download it, it'll say tools. Once again, go to lower thirds, and I keep saying lower thirds, sorry, go to common, then go to images, and this is where you will find your logo. So if you mouse over the logo, you'll find that logo is 567 by 232. Now I'm going to do it in Photoshop, and I'm going to put this up here so you can see it. I have my screen blown up so you can see it just a little better. So 567 by 232. There we go. It doesn't have to be 300 resolution. It can realistically just be 72 DPI, because that'll work. And there we go, put it in the screen and make it a little closer. So this is going to be your canvas for your logo. Now I don't know if I have a logo just anywhere laying around here. And I'm going to browse through something real. Let's just use this, God's masterpiece. There we go. I'm going to copy that. I don't want to save that. I want to paste it in here. And obviously this logo is going to be huge. So I am going to shrink this logo down first of all. And we'll go right there. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to know a little bit of Photoshop. There's another way to do it, because you really do want a transparent PNG when you do this. I'm actually going to select color range on here, and I'm going to take out all the black, as much black as I can. So I'm going to hit the dropper tool on the plus key, select color range, and I'm going to select that. I'm going to play with the fuzziness just a little bit until all the words come back in. That's going to be good for now. Click OK, and then I'm going to hit F7. So you got to get into 2 tutorials in one, people. So you're welcome. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm going to hit the layer masks, and that should get rid of I'm going to hit invert. There we go. Now that should get rid of the black background. It's really rough, but hey, I'm trying. And I'm actually going to go into the actual layer itself. I'm going to hit Control I. I'm going to invert it, and that's going to give me an inverted version of the logo. Now I can make this logo just a little bit bigger. Okay, so the logo's a little bigger. This still fits within the confines of the template that we're setting for it to change the logo, and I'm gonna hit enter. Now I can do a couple of things. I can double click on the layer, whatever your logo is. So if you double click on the layer, you're gonna bring up your layer panels to where you can do your layer styles. I can just click overlay for the sake of this tutorial, and I'm gonna change it to red or blue, whatever color I pick. Here, red. Let's go with red. Okay, here, red. Click OK, and there we go. So that's my new logo that I'm hoping to switch out. Now, you want to try to make sure whatever logo color you pick is going to blend with your background. So if you have like a dark background, it may not work as much. I particularly have a lighter background here because I'm on Photoshop, but that's my image. I'm going to hit Control, Alt, and Shift to save it for the web. And I'm going to pick PNG 24. So it's going to be a transparent background. And I'm going to hit save. Now it's key that I name this file the same file that was named in the CSS, so we don't have to go in and change that much CSS. And I know it was named logo. So it's logo.png. I know that's what it was named, okay? So now I am going to minimize my Photoshop. Here is the logo right there, .png. Now if you don't want to erase that logo, you can just right click on it, hit rename, and we'll just call it logo 1 for now, so that way it doesn't erase. Bam. So that's there. I'm gonna go to my desktop because I know that's where I saved it. Here's the other logo. I'm gonna copy it, hit back, and I am going to hit paste. It's gonna, well, my Windows will tell me, you know, where I put it in. So now that should have replaced what was showing up on the screen for when I originally placed the plugin in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull my OBS screen up here on the screen so you can see. I want to double click on the lower third's actual file, and I want to go down to the bottom, and I want to refresh the current page. So when I refresh it, it changes the logo, as you can see right there. So I click OK. So now, and I'm going to pull this back down out of the way so we can go back to a clear, and actually let me pull up my Photoshop. I'm going to pull up my Photoshop page for you. And I am just going to, let's just for the sake of this tutorial, make a new layer and make it white. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry, y'all. There we go. Make it white, and I'm going to blow it up just for the sake of this tutorial so you can see the actual, let's make it a white screen real quick so you can see the actual plugin. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger. So if I hit show and hide, now you can see I've changed out the logo that fast. So that's how you change out the logo, by going into the actual plugin itself and downloading or setting up a new template for that actual logo, which is 567 by 232, and that's how you change out the logo. Now once again, let's just assume I have a light screen. That's going to be how I am able to change out the logo. And obviously I can go in here and I'm gonna put my own name here, and I'm gonna put a title here, and I'm gonna hit show, and there you go. Hide it, show it. That's the easiest way to change out the logo. So to walk through it again, I can go into Photoshop since I'm already here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's change the color of this God's masterpiece. Let's change it to let's change it to something like blue. There we go. We're gonna hit blue and click OK. Once again, I'm gonna save this, and I want to name it the same name, which is going to be logo. So I'm going to replace this logo, but I'm not replacing the logo within the folder yet. This is just putting it on the desktop or putting it somewhere. That way I can change the logo as I need to. And we're going to hit save. It's going to say replace. Yeah, I replaced it, but it hasn't changed yet on my screen yet because I want to Which window do I want to pull up? Excuse me, moving this down. We want to go to the actual folder window. There we go. So I want to go back to my desktop. Here's the other logo. I want to copy it. You can copy or cut it, it won't matter. And I want to hit back and go back into that folder. I want to hit paste, and that is going to replace the file. Continue. So it changed blue. It hasn't changed blue on my screen yet because I need to go into the lower thirds browser source, and I need to hit the browser source, and I need to go down to the bottom, hit refresh cache of current page, and you've seen it has already changed colors already. Well, let's actually go there so you can actually see it. There we go. So I'm gonna hit show hide. There you go. So now the second part of it is I obviously you see when I hit show, you cannot see the letters because the letters are dark. And so there's a way to change that as well. So when you go back into the plugin, if you go up one folder, you'll see a file here that says CSS. You're going to download a software that's going to make this a whole lot easier to edit, and it's called Notepad++. If you can use whatever program you have actually really to edit a CSS file. I recommend using Note++ because of the color coding, and that's just for me. I'm not a CSS person, so that just helps me out a whole lot easier than it does. So I am going to go back into that folder, which was where my lower thirds are, and I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to hit open with I'm going to open it with another app because I just installed this. More apps, and we're going to scroll down to look for another app on your PC. I'll probably edit this out. I probably won't, but if I do, well, look, I have Notepad open already, so why don't I just pull it up? There we go. And I want to open the file. I already had it open up, so I'm just not going to waste your time tonight. I'm going to see programs, OBS right here, lower thirds. This is a lot of clicking, so once you get this down, it'll be easier. Common, CSS, and style. Now in here, you'll see a ton of options. So you'll see a bunch of options here, and let me make this panel just a little bit bigger so you can actually see what's going on. Let me go here. Let me see. Let's go to, I'm going to make my screen just a little bigger so we can get a little closer here. Obviously, that will help. And there we go. So we're going to get a little bigger. So you can see all of these different things here. So there's the clock, because there's a clock you can add. There's a free clock that comes with this plugin as well. OBS is for your panel. And if you scroll all the way down, you have your functions for your actual text. So you have down here your body browser, your lower third. What you're going to see here is right here is where your border is, where it says left third, left block. That's going to be the border that separates the text from the logo. When I put that back on the screen, and let me move that over. Let me move the lower third over so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Oh, I keep moving the wrong one. I need to scroll up here. There we go. So I'm going to move this over to the right so you can see it. There's a bar right in the middle that separates the logo from the name. That's what this left block is right here. So if you ever wanted to change the color of that, you can do that right there. If you go down to right here, the browser source lower thirds, you'll see bold, 4VW, Roboto condensed. These are your fonts. So you'll see that you have one font is bold 4VW and you have another font that's bold 2VW. As you can see, the top color is 555. The second color is 999. If I change this font right here to let's change it to FF0000. That should be red. I'm going to hit save. Yes. So I had to reload it in administrator mode. Sorry. So I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to go over to my lower thirds. And just like I did the last time, I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to click refresh current browser. Click OK and hit show. And you notice that my font is now red. So that is how I change the color. Now, say I want the bottom text, the title, to be not light gray. I'm going to go down here and change this 999 to black, which is 000. Now you got to learn your HTML colors. You can get a bunch of websites online to learn that, but that's the quickest way to do it, is know the colors that you want. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back into OBS, and I'm going to click on the lower thirds again, which is this screen right here, just so I can pull it up here so you can see it. And I'm going to go down here and hit refresh cache of current page and click OK. It's going to disappear, and then I'm going to hit show, and the top should be red and the bottom should be white, or black, excuse me. So if I click hide and show it, I've changed the logo as well as the title, which is my name, as well as the whatever your subtitle is going to be. So those are the basics of changing the logo, as well as changing the font and the font color. One more thing you can do possibly is if you wanted to change the font size as well as the font type. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. You'll see right here where it says browser source left lower thirds and browser source lower thirds, lower third name, lower third function. Right here in the font line, it's line 140. You could see that it's bold, 4VW, Roboto condensed sans serifs. Now, if I wanted to go in here and change this to Impact, which is a pretty known font, right? I'm going to change that to Impact and change this to 3, so it's not as big. I'm going to hit save, and let's not use this color. Well, let's just use red. Let's just leave it red so you can see it. I'm going to hit save on this style CSS. I'm going to go into OBS. I'm going to double click whatever you name the lower third, and I'm going to hit refresh cache and click OK. You'll see on the screen that the lower third disappear. When I show it, it's going to be actually a very thick, impact font, and it's going to be smaller than it was. I can go in here and also go back here and change this to something like Oswald, which is pretty much the same as Beavis New, a pretty popular font for graphic designers. And I can hit save. Obviously, I have to go in here and click lower thirds, and I want to refresh the browser cache again. And then I'm going to click OK. And when I show it, it'll be a different font. So hide it and show it. So those are the 3 ways that you can customize the logo. You can change the font colors of the top and the bottom, as well as you can change the font type. And if you're a little bit more advanced with CSS, there's some other features down here you can change as far as like the speed of the animation. You could change the line height, the padding. There's a whole lot of stuff you can change, and all this is underneath the panel. You don't want to mess with anything in the panel, but all of this would be on the lower third. So if there's a lower third left or lower third right, there's a transition timing right here where it says transition all half a second. So you can change all of this stuff. You can make your border, if you look where it says left block and I hit 3 here, and I change this to, let's change it to black because you'll be able to see it better. I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to go into lower thirds. I'm going to hit refresh cache, and obviously right away you should see that the line separating the logo as well as the text is very, very thick, and you can hit show and then hide, and you'll see that that is very, very unique. I have changed it to something that it normally looked like, and I will actually go through and hopefully I can hit Control Z all this out and hit save, and then put it back to the way it was. And I'm going to go back into lower thirds in OBS, refresh the cache of the browser, and click OK, and show hide, and it's back to normal. It's back to where it was. Thicker font. I'm not sure if you can use all of the fonts in your system, but I'm pretty sure any of the web fonts that are available online. Well, I know Oswald is a Google font, so I'm pretty sure you can pretty much use any font you wanted to. That's something you'd have to play with. But listen, that's my tutorial for how to change the that's my tutorial on how to change the lower third plugin that you can get available on the OBS website. I'm sure there'll be some more tutorials coming out later, and also some more plugins. But look into the different plugins you can get and keep streaming, y'all. All right, see you later.